and you stay right where you are, and you can learn all about their natural and integrated services and program. Reminder that if you do have a question that you would like to ask Dr. Batson live on air and have him give you an answer, do call us at 627-3223 or 625-2257. You can also send us a WhatsApp message to the number 306-1065. Good afternoon, Dr. Batson.
Good afternoon, Samantha, and how are you doing?
I am very well, thank you.
Okay, great. A pleasant good afternoon to you and the listeners of Freedom 106.5 FM. Always a pleasure to be in your company on a Thursday afternoon discussing health from a natural and integrative perspective. I am Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates. So today's program, I decided we're going to touch on something that we discussed in the past, but is always relevant, is always a matter of concern for a number of persons, and that is the topic of circulation. We're going to discuss, what really entails, or what are some of the symptomology associated with poor circulation. We're going to discuss, what can you do from the perspective of home to really improve your circulation, and of course, what do we at Batson and Associates from that natural and integrated perspective, really dealing with the root cause of the problem and not necessarily dealing with the symptomology. What do we recommend? What product services do we carry to address that particular problem associated with circulation? Of course, as you mentioned, it's an open forum. So if you have any questions, the questions don't necessarily have to be related to what we're discussing, but any health issue regarding the products and services of Batson and Associates, you can feel free to, of course, ask those questions. So we know very quickly the importance of circulation. Circulation, when we speak in circulation, we're speaking about blood circulation in the body. We know our circulatory system is basically designed like a tree, in the sense that you have large blood vessels, which are known as arteries. Then you have blood vessels that are a little smaller, which would be the veins, and then you have those that are even smaller, or what actually helps to address microcirculation, and those are capillaries. So arteries being the largest in terms of diameter, as well as veins, of course, smaller, but more elastic than your arteries. And of course, excuse me, the capillaries, as I said, have to do with microcirculation. So things like your brain, things like your eyesight, things like proper circulation in the extremities, your toes, your fingers. So those are primarily responsible for the circulation of blood. And blood, of course, is the transport system, for want of a better expression, of transporting oxygen and nutrients to your cells. So it's vitally important that one has a specific level of proper circulation in the body. From the scientific perspective, they say that if you were to take all your blood vessels and attach them to each other, and you were given a distance, you'd be able to make the circumference of the Earth 2.5 times, which is 66,000 miles. So that's just to tell you how extensive your circulatory system is. When you're looking at the surface area, they say the surface area of all the arteries in your body would actually be able to be about the surface area of about 4 tennis courts. So extensive surface area, but because of how it is designed, those things are basically coiled in that particular circulatory system. So it is a major system. It's a system that is important for a number of things. Persons who would have had poor circulation experiences would be persons, of course, who suffered strokes. So whether you had ischemic strokes, which are basically strokes that cut off some level of oxygen to the brain for a specific given period of time, and those are actually referred to as ischemic strokes. Then you have hemorrhagic strokes, which are bleeding strokes. But the point is, if you have experienced a stroke, or what is known as a TIA, which is a transient ischemic attack, which is a mini stroke, it means you have an issue with poor circulation. That's one. If you have issues with high blood pressure, you also have a poor circulation issue. You have issues with severe headaches, migraines, cluster headaches. You have a problem with poor circulation. You're having problems with your eyes. So you may have what is referred to as detached retina or bleeding behind the eyes. Basically, you have a poor circulation issue. If you have been diagnosed with glaucoma, glaucoma is high ocular pressure in the eyes. You have two types of glaucoma. You have open-angled and closed-angled glaucoma. If you have any of those, you have really a poor circulation issue. If you have problems with gastrointestinal problems. So you may have some sort of inflammatory bowel condition, like maybe Crohn's or irritable bowel syndrome or diverticulitis. You basically have a situation where you have poor circulation in the small and large intestines, which can lead to serious issues, gastrointestinal problems. So the thing is, a lot of, if you have problems with dizziness, lightheadedness, problems with your memory, Alzheimer's, Parkinson, all of these are clear indication of poor circulation to various parts of the body. So with that being said, of course, the question arises, what can one do to correct this circulation issue? Because we already realize, if you're talking about strokes, you're talking about aneurysms, brain aneurysms, you're speaking about various cardiovascular accidents, even heart attacks. If you have blocked arteries, major arteries like carotid arteries, aorta, and those type of things may have plaque buildup, that is also an indication of poor circulation. So a myocardial infarction, which is also referred to as a heart attack, is also an indication of poor circulation. Angina or chest pains, poor circulation. So you see how broad poor circulation is as it relates to actually causing a lot of fundamental diseases and imbalances in the body. So we're going to discuss what do we at Batson Associates do to address that. But of course, before I go there, let me just quickly give you our clinic locations and our telephone numbers. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. The telephone number for that office is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. The number for the Day Clinic, that office or clinic is located on the corner of Ramsamut Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Day. That telephone number for Day is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. And for the St. James office, that is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number is 220-8113. Again, that's 220-8113. Over to you. Any questions as yet?
We are inviting you, if you have a medical question, to call us right now for Dr. Batson to answer your medical question. And you can use the number 627-3223, 627-3223, or 625-2257, 625-2257. You can also send your medical question via WhatsApp to the number 306-1065. And we do have a WhatsApp question. Good afternoon, Dr. Batson. Would my pins and needles I experience at night be from circulation problems?
Yeah, good question. Most of the times, yes. That pins and needles experience, or as they say in colloquial language, you feel junjuni feeling, is usually an indication of some level of neuropathy but neuropathy caused by poor circulation. For example, persons who are diabetics tend to experience that more common than other individuals. So if you're getting that feeling with pins and needles, you feel as if things walking on you, you're getting like spasms, or you feel like things walking on your head, the side of your face, it's usually an indication of some level of poor circulation, but primarily poor circulation from the capillary aspect. So you're looking at poor microcirculation. So that is definitely a yes there. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon quickly to our listeners on social media. We are live on Facebook. On Facebook, we are Batson and Associates Limited. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. So you could always join us there, like us, follow us. A lot of our content is basically uploaded there. So a lot of programs from before you could actually sit down and listen to, to get whatever answers you may have to your questions, or point you to a direction that you're basically looking to be pointed in. All right.
The person who sent the WhatsApp message is asking a follow-up if they are experiencing pins and needles, if needing salt in their diet, increase in salt will help.
The thing is not necessarily salt. But the thing is, when people talk about salt, they're really talking about sodium, because that's primarily what you will get from salt. The issue when it comes to circulation or that pins and needles, it could be a possibility of mineral deficiency, but most of the time the mineral that you're deficient in with that would be magnesium and not necessarily sodium. The thing is though, sodium, magnesium, potassium, calcium work very closely together when it relates to a cardiovascular system, especially potassium. Potassium is one of the major substances or major minerals rather that play a significant role in cardiovascular health, your heart and that type of thing, similarly as magnesium. So I would say not necessarily salt. The thing is, if you have to use any type of salt in your diet, it should be maybe rock salt or mountain salt and not necessarily sodium chloride, which is a lab salt, which doesn't really exist in nature. And that salt has all sorts of things associated with it. It's not really one of the best things to be really having in your diet. So in that particular aspect, it possibly could be magnesium deficiency. And that's one of the things we do at Batson and Associates. We do something known as a magnetic resonance analysis scan, which anybody could do a scan. The thing is, the interpretation of the scan is what is paramount to one's getting the results that they're looking for, the improvement. And that's one of the things that, we excel in at Batson and Associates, being a trained organization of integrative health practitioners. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon to Ms. Karishma Ramdan, Mr. Paul Green, Mr. Rene Bustamante, who are part of the consultancy team that work with me in addressing those. And, with that being said, very quickly, we have started back our open clinic days. And Saturday, I'll actually be working in Shogunas. So those who may have had or wanted an earlier appointment, because, we have appointments booked up for months, that is an opportunity to really call the office and take advantage of those spaces, which will be this Saturday here at the Shogunas office. That telephone number for Shogunas is 222-222-8261. That's 222-8261. For Debe is the 223-7515. And very quickly, our open clinic day in St. James, where myself and some of the other consultants will be working, would be tomorrow, please God. So again, you could avail yourself of that opportunity. For St. James, that's 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And that office is located in Red Edge Mall. That's on the Western Main Road in St. James. Over to you, Samantha.
The company Batson and Associates started its operations in September of 2009. It is an organization of trained health consultants and practitioners in Ayurvedic, Chinese, holistic, natural, and nutritional medicine. And if you do have a question for Dr. Jason Batson, PhD, senior medical consultant at Batson and Associates, feel free to give us a call right now at 627-3223, 627-3223, or 625-2257, 625-2257. You can also send your medical questions via WhatsApp to the number 306-1065, 306-1065. And we do have a question that comes via WhatsApp. It reads, good afternoon, Dr. Batson. I am in my 60s. What is a good amount of sleep, many hours of sleep?
And the person said they in what age group? The 60s?
They're in their 60s, yes.
The thing is, interestingly, there are a lot of persons, the older you get, the less amount of sleep you need. And sleep studies have actually validated that. So there are some persons who, at that age, could operate on 4 hours of sleep. Some on 6 hours. Some would need 8. So it depends. Try and, how to put it, boy, pay very close attention to yourself. You must know how you feel when you get less, say 4 hours or 6 hours or 8 hours. And if, let's say, you get 4, any of those, and you feel fully recuperated, rejuvenated rather, then that's all well and good. And that applies to everyone. Sleep in general, people say, well, you need to get 8 hours of sleep. That technically is not necessarily true for everyone. Based on your activity, based on how active you are, persons who would have a sedentary lifestyle, it would be a bit different. If you have various health concerns, it may also be a bit different if you're on medication. So there are a number of factors that you need to take into consideration, but those are some of the things to pay attention to. Whatever amount of sleep you get, do you feel fully recuperated, fully rejuvenated rather? And if of course the answer is yes, well then basically you could operate on 4 hours or 6 hours or 8 hours of sleep. The same rule applies with water. It has a lot to do with individuals and not necessarily, there isn't that general rule per se for everyone. So you need to kind of observe yourself carefully and you'll figure it out.
We have another WhatsApp message. This one says, things like digestive restore and balance, chlorophyll, etc. How frequent can you take them? For example, if you've been on them 3 months straight, should you take a break?
Okay, that's a good question. I mean, again, it depends on what you're looking for. It depends on the results that you would have gotten. Those products that they stated, they are some of the products that we carry at Batson Associates. So the advanced chlorophyll, for example, which we carry, helps to improve your sleep. It helps to detoxify your liver. It helps with improving circulation. It's a natural form of or iron builder in the body that doesn't constipate you. So someone, like for example, I would use that like maybe like about 3-4 times to the week as a maintenance. So, you know, based on the results that you would have gotten or the challenges that you may have had, the health challenges, you can now do a maintenance dose where you're not necessarily using it every day, or you're not using the amount that you was using before, but you now use less, and you may space it out, not as frequent as before. But maintenance and preventative maintenance is always welcome, especially by someone like myself, because our culture in the Caribbean, in the Western world, is one where we tend to be proactive as opposed, we tend to be reactive rather, as opposed to be proactive. And, you know, maintaining things like digestive balance, for example. I use digestive balance every day because once you're eating, you're consuming food at digestive balance, which would be basically digestive enzymes, probiotics in one, or prebiotics would actually help with proper nutrient delivery of your food. So that's something that anyone would want to maintain. So, you know, and you can always seek advice from us as regards to, you know, how to do those maintenance programs. Of course, finance is always a factor because, you know, there's a financial consequence to everything. So you're going to have to factor that in as well. And that's why I tell persons to mix the teas that we normally carry. We have a wide variety of teas: circulation, liver, lungs, eye, menopause, gastrointestinal. We have tea for skin, you name it. So, and those tend to be a little more reasonable. So it's very easy, for example, where you might be able to do a maintenance of, let's say, 30 circulation tea for the month, or maybe 15, 3 bottles of alkagen water, a pack of santulan. So it depends on what your budget allows. And of course, as I said, the health requirements that you may need in order to achieve or maintain the good health that you have now attained.
And the person who just asked that question did want to mention that they are seeing great results.
Oh, great. I'm so glad to hear that, and I appreciate that, that testimony. Thank you so very much.
And we do have another WhatsApp message. This one says, good day, Dr. Batson. What types of salt would you recommend for someone with hypothyroid? Would sea and rock salt work?
Definitely. In fact, those are the only types of salt you're really supposed to be using. I mean, you have volcanic salts. I remember when I went to Hawaii, that's one of the things that is the first time in my life I saw black salt. So that was actually black in color, and it was not treated with anything. It was just extracted from regions that would have been very close to volcanoes. So any of those types of salt you don't have a problem with. You just need to be, as I said, careful the amounts that you use. And most of the time, those salts you usually add after you cook your food and not during cooking, because the advantage is really when the meal is finished. But table salt is salt that people, I mean, without trying to get into the politics, that if you're using table salt, still you want some licks. Because that salt actually has glass in it, grounded up glass. And I didn't say that. You go and do the research. And it's actually a lab salt. So, you know, that salt is going to throw off your cardiovascular system. It could open you up to a lot of microscopic tears in the arteries, in the veins, in the capillaries, which could further increase the likelihood or exacerbate an already poor circulation situation. So definitely those type of salts, as I mentioned before, you would want to use, even if you are hypertensive, because the problem with hypertension isn't necessarily the salt per se. I mean, even though table salt will definitely contribute or further exacerbate a hypertension situation, but generally it has to do with the mineral aspect, because sodium is really what you're looking at. And once your sodium levels are balanced and you have the right type of sodium in the body, you wouldn't really have a hypertension problem, or you're going to see improvement in your blood pressure levels.
We have someone asking via WhatsApp, Dr. Batson, what are the signs and symptoms of poor circulation?
Again, to reiterate, so your signs and symptoms of poor circulation would be, okay, so if we're looking at circulation, because you have 2 types of circulation primarily. You have pulmonary circulation, which is above your heart. You have systemic circulation, which is below the heart. So if you're looking at systemic circulation, you're looking at things like varicose veins, spider veins, so circulation below the heart. So you're looking at the leg, leg area, those extremities. DVT, which is deep vein thrombosis. You're looking at discoloration in the legs. So, you know, persons, for example, who are diabetics usually tend to have serious cell damage and serious poor circulation issues. So usually by the instep and the ankle come up mid-calf area usually tends to get very dark. That is basically an indication of poor circulation and cell death, which if it's not corrected properly, that circulation could become so bad that you end up an amputee or you lose toes or whatever the case may be. So those are some of the indications of poor circulation in the systemic aspect or below the heart. When you're looking at pulmonary circulation, your symptomology would be things that I mentioned before: dizziness, lightheadedness, disruption in vision, where you have blurred vision all of a sudden, or you're seeing things like floaters. Let me just put a quick ad in here for the eye optics formula that we carry. That product, we have been carrying that product at Batson Associates for about 10 years now. And I mean, the testimonies, the results that we have gotten with clients are astronomical, because one of the things that the eye optics formula does, it doesn't have any steroids in it, one, but it is designed in such a way to improve the circulation in the eyes and the cerebral hemisphere. So proper eyesight is always affected by circulation or the quality of circulation in the brain. So that actually corrects that situation. So as I said, if you're seeing blurred vision, if you're seeing that you have things like floaters, if you're seeing issues with your memory, short-term memory, which I had done a program on just recently, those would be some of the indicators of poor circulation in the cerebral area, systemic circulation. As I said, if you have problems with stiffness in your hands, especially on your left side. So some people would feel like they're getting pins and needles, cramping on the left side, especially stabbing pain in your chest, which could be some level of angina, some level of blocked arteries, or an indication of some level of blocked arteries. It means that that is, symptomology associated with poor circulation. So it's a matter of paying attention to yourself, looking at yourself. I always tell persons, there's a test that I advocate, I call it the mirror test. I tell persons, you go into a room, and this is not me attempting to be facetious or rude in any way, and you remove all your clothing, make sure you're by yourself and look at yourself. Look at everything. Look at your toes. Look at your instep. Look at your legs. Look at your belly. Look at yourself and determine whether you're satisfied with what you're seeing. Most persons might say no. Some people might say yes. But, there are always visible signs in the body or warning signs that the body sends. For example, things like headache, dizziness, problem with short-term memory, and that is normally indication that, listen to me, the circulation in the brain is not as it should be, and if we don't correct this, it could actually be to the point where you end up with a stroke, you end up with a heart attack, you end up with a DVT. And the thing with DVTs are very dangerous. DVT is an acronym for deep vein thrombosis. You have something known as a CVA, which is a cardiovascular accident, or a CVI, which is a cardiovascular incident. And all those incidents, which like strokes, aneurysm, those type of things, are usually a result of poor circulation in the body in its entirety. So it's vitally important that you pay very close attention to that. One of the things we offer at Batson Associates is a circulation tea. We also have a product called Balanced Circulation, which actually helps to cleanse and tone the blood vessels. I'm a big advocate of L-arginine. We carry a few L-arginine products because L-arginine is the precursor for nitric oxide. Once you have high levels of nitric oxide in your body, you cannot have a cardiovascular accident. In fact, very quickly, the doctor who won the Nobel Prize in 1998, which is a gentleman by the name of Professor Egnaro, he won that Nobel Prize as a result of the work that he did with L-arginine, L-citrulline, and by extension, its production of nitric oxide in the body. And nitric oxide is a gas that is actually metabolized in the endothelial lining of your blood vessels. So what it is responsible for is for vasoconstriction and vasodilation. So vasoconstriction is narrowing of the blood vessels. Vasodilation is widening of the blood vessels. And once you have high levels of nitric oxide or correct levels of nitric oxide, you find that your circulation is improved. And it is if you have a poor circulation issue, it can be corrected with introduction of nitric oxide supplements. And I'm very brand specific with those that we carry. And of course, you could always ask some questions with that. Those numbers quickly for the Shogunas office. That number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. For Debe is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And the Tobago office, which is located in the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago, that number is 226-4553. That's 226-4553. Okay.
And if you do have a medical question that you would like answered by Dr. Jason Batson, as we have a few minutes left with him, you can quickly call us at 627-3223, 627-3223, or 625-2257, 625-2257, or you can send your message, your medical question via WhatsApp to 306-1065, 306-1065. Dr. Batson.
Definitely. Let me just repeat those open clinic days, which means you don't necessarily have to have an appointment. But all I ask is that you call the Shogunas office. That open clinic day in Shogunas would be Saturday. That number again is 222-222-8261. And the open clinic day for St. James is Friday, which is tomorrow, please God. That number for St. James is 220-8113. And Shogunas would also have an open clinic day next week, which is next week, Wednesday, please God. So that number again, 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. Let me say that number quickly. 314-9975. That is the number for road delivery. So you can also call and get the information via that. We have a question from someone on our Facebook Live where they're asking, is varicose veins an indication of poor circulation? And yeah, that, just to reiterate what I said, you know, a lot of women tend to get varicose veins during and after pregnancy because of that excessive amount of weight that you're carrying on your legs consistently. So you're going to have some sort of discomfort, some sort of stressing of the veins themselves. Varicose veins, the disease or the issues really known as varicosis. And what that really is the valves. There are valve-like structures in the legs that actually lock, for want of a better expression, or they close to facilitate proper blood circulation in legs. What happens to persons who end up with varicose veins or varicosis is that those valves don't work as they're supposed to, or they're not as efficient in closing off as you would like. And there are simple exercises, simple regimes that you could put, simple dietary plans that you could put in place to really correct that varicose veins and that varicosis situation, because it is a dangerous thing. Left unchecked, and it can get very, very worse. You could end up with situation where you end up with venous ulcers, where those veins actually open, and as a result of that, that could actually result in you losing a limb. It could actually result in you losing your legs. So, you know, it's very important that you pay close attention to yourself, as I mentioned, with that mirror test there. Look at yourself. Examine yourself. You are always your first doctor, and a lot of people don't understand that. You must know if you're getting headaches. You must know if you're not feeling good, if you're not sleeping properly. You must know if your menstrual cycle is giving you a problem. You know. You always know. There is always some indication. If you have problems with your skin, like some people, for example, we know have LOTA. I remember dealing with someone recently, and they in the 50s, and they told me they have LOTAs since they're 13 years. And they say it just goes and comes. I say, well, that simply means that you have never taken a proper detox to really get all those pathogens or those fungus out of the body. But, you know, your body speaks to you most of the time. The question is, a lot of us don't listen. You know, so as I said, when you look at that issue with poor circulation, you're getting the dizziness, you're getting the lightheadedness, you're getting the blurred vision, you're seeing like halos, you're getting floaters. That's your body telling you, listen to me, something is not right here, and it needs to be addressed. And, you know, that's where we at Batson Associate comes in there.
And we do have a question that maybe you can answer very quickly, Dr. Batson. Yes. It says, ask, what could you recommend for continuous borderline high cholesterol level?
Borderline high cholesterol level. The thing is, there's a product that we carry at Batson Associates, which is a cholesterol tea. As you realize, I am a big advocate of tea. That we have gotten very good results with persons. One of the things I'll suggest to someone, which is very easy, baking soda actually plays a significant role in assisting in high cholesterol. So usually the recommended dose is half teaspoon of baking soda and 8 ounces of water first thing in the morning. If you are someone who is hypertensive, you can use it, but you shouldn't necessarily use it every day. Not because it's going to elevate the blood pressure per se, But because one of the things that baking soda actually does, it does a lot of oxygenation of the body, oxygenate your lungs, cells, gastrointestinal system, small and large intestines, that type of thing. So that is something you could introduce there. Half teaspoon, sorry, in 8 ounces of water first thing in the morning. And there are other regimes that we could put in place depending on how badly or how much issue you may have with the cholesterol. Sometimes too as well, the liver needs some work. We do carry liver tea as well, because your liver actually is the organ responsible for the production of cholesterol and, you know, that whole metabolization of HDL, LDL, that type of thing. So you could definitely get some info there. So very quickly, again, those telephone numbers for Shagonas, that number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Keep in mind our open clinic day this Saturday and next week, Wednesday. And for St. James, that number is 220-8113. That office is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. And that open clinic day is tomorrow, please God. As we always say at Batson Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Samantha, it's always a pleasure to be in your company. Let me say thank you very much again. And a pleasant good afternoon to the listeners of Freedom 106.5 FM. Do enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you again.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Batson. And that was our special health.
Yes, my goodly social media people, pleasant good afternoon to you. So I am not staying long. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon to Miss Lucy Lara. Miss Lara came in for round 2. Miss Maria Charles Gordon, pleasant good afternoon to you. Nikisha Holder Marshall, she says, whoa. Okay, I hope that whoa was a good whoa. Where are we? German, Mitchell is saying, good afternoon, Doc. Great information, thank you. Miss Petronella Joy Fox is saying, good afternoon, Dr. Batson. Miss Fatima Mohammed, peace and blessings to Dr. Batson, staff and viewers. Thank you so very much for that. Miss Betty Phillips says, good afternoon, Dr. Batson. Rachel Johnson, how many mgs of Primrose? Usually whatever the bottle recommends, double the dose. Okay? Miss Rachel Johnson says, can you please talk about it if you know, or cholesterol and red rice yeast? Oh, yeah, Miss Johnson, that's actually a very good thing. Red rice yeast is very, very good for cholesterol. If you can get it, I used to get before, right now in the process of sourcing some again. It really does a good job. Miss Sandra Modest is saying, hi, doctor. What can you use for a bad cold on your chest? I am using all kind of stuff and not working. You need to get some silver with mineral formula. Yes, silver with mineral formula is going to help you with that. The inflammation formula, the lungs tea, and there's also a product we have called Tropical Breed. Very good product as well. Okay. Someone asked a question. Let me just answer one more question before I leave. Okay, guys. Miss Joyce Dick, a pleasant good afternoon to you. Miss Marcia Letron is saying, good evening, Dr. Batson and staff. Great job. I visit St. James many times. Nice people, treat me very good. And your young doctor there is good to talk to. So thank you so very much for that. Miss Marilyn G. Belgrove says, pleasant good afternoon, Dr. Batson. Is a great pleasure logging in to see you live on the line. Interesting. Thanks so very much. Miss Sandra Mother says, hi, Doc. What can you use for a bad... Okay, right. That's what I said. Cold on the chest. Let me see. Miss Joanne Barclay was asking the question. Okay, for some reason this... Okay. Let me see if I get it. This one, Joanna, trying to see a question here. Yeah, this question only moving. I see it here. Good afternoon, Doc. How do one treat with slip disc, and is there a cure for it? Well, the thing is, there are a number of things that could rejuvenate and reverse back issues. Slip disc being one of them, but you have to deal with that from a structural problem, from a structural perspective rather, where there's some alignment work being done. together with some sort of proper supplementation. That product that we actually have on special, keep in mind our Christmas, and I actually forgot to say that on the air just now, our Christmas in July, where we'll be highlighting our Omega, that special Omega with the astaxanthin. So check out the page. We have great discounts this month with that, and that actually helps significantly a lot of back pain and pain situations. Okay? So, thank you so very much for your time. Keep in mind our open clinic day. Yours truly, Dr. Batson, will be in Chaguanas on Saturday. That's this Saturday and next week, Wednesday. So you can call to fit in your spaces there. That telephone number for Chaguanas is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And in St. James, my open clinic day in St. James is tomorrow. That number is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. For Debe's number, let me say a pleasant good afternoon to Miss Roma, Miss Budram doing a great job down there. That number for Debe is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. And Tobago, is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number is 226-4553. 226-4553. So God bless you guys and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Sunday from 9:15ish there to 11:15ish. Okay? God bless you guys. Remember, as we always say at Batson Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. God bless and enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Take care. Bye-bye.